1976 Soweto Uprising.
On June 16, 1976, 3,000 to 10,000 students peacefully protested against the government's directive. The government's directive was to make the students learn Afrikaans alongside with English. Now that was hard for the children, but even harder for the teachers. I mean, the ratio was 58 students to one teacher, yet the teachers had very few knowledge of this new language they were to teach the children. And the children didn't want to learn something else either. In fact, it was harder for them as well. And so they decided that they would peacefully protest against the government. Schools got together and even picked up other schools on the way, and they went to go peacefully protest against the government. Now, they were joyfully marching and singing and chanting when all of a sudden, shooting and violence occurred. There was heavily armed police. They fired tear gas and live ammunition. And after this, it became an uprising against the government. An uprising against the government and what they were doing in this moment. At first, it was a peaceful protest, but now it was something more. Why were they shooting at children? Why were they doing this? They're nothing but children. And yet, the government decided to shoot them anyways when they were peacefully protesting. Many victims on the Soweto Uprising Day. In fact, a lot of them were children. An example of this is a 13-year-old boy named Hector Peterson. He had lost his sister Antoinette Sithole in the crowd and was later found to be shot by Mwesba Makabu. Mwesba Makabu had tried to get him help, and in this picture you could see him carrying him with his sister screaming beside. This was a traumatizing day for everyone. Even the person that took this picture, Sam Naisma, knew the hurt. And he knew that when he was taking these pictures that he would be risking his own life. And so this picture is significant. It shows the pain and suffering on this day and how they protested for something they believe in. But it also shows their uprising against the government and the government's actions. Sam Naisma, Antoinette Sithole's, and Mwesba Makabu's lives changed. Antoinette Sithole continued on to be a guide at a museum. Mwesba Makabu is unknown. We don't know where he is, and his sister has no contact with him and does not know where he is, because after this day he had changed dramatically. And Sam Naisma's life changed as well. He no longer continued to be a journalist because the government had come after him for taking this picture, and it was banned. So these are examples of what happened that day and how it affected many.
The Soweto Uprising had many victims, all who were children. 23 known deaths were reported and many were hurt. The aftermath of this event was devastating. Children who had peacefully protested were buried without a future. The fight against the government was a great one, and may we acknowledge this day in African history. There is now a museum for those who died in the uprising. The museum is called the Hector Peterson Museum. This museum in Soweto is a remembrance to that day and the victims it claimed. Remember the 1976 Soweto Uprising.